Well, it's not always rainbows and butterflies and sunshine here on the #1 day trading channel. We do lose money. Today, I'm breaking down a trade that I lost over $1,000 on. The emotion, the battle, what went wrong? What went wrong? Breaking it down right here in this video, so make sure you guys stay tuned. What's going on, guys? Patrick here, and like I said in the beginning of this video, it's not always rainbows and butterflies and sunshine here. Sometimes there's bad trades. Sometimes we lose money, and that's day trading. If it was just easy profiting all the time, it would just be called profiting and not day trading. Profiting, day trading. It's a big difference. So the breakdown of the trade, let's break it down here. Let's break it. You can see, I want to show you guys just the proof. Obviously, these are the losses: 0.12, 0.12, 0.01. Yeah, some big losses. So if you look at the chart last night, you can see exactly what I did wrong. I'm sure most of you guys can see just by looking at it what I did wrong here. So this was the move that we had going on the end of day, well, pretty much like all day yesterday, going into the end of day yesterday. And I thought, hey, look at this. We're getting a triple bottom at this level here at the 3,222 area. But the thing is, once I drew these lines here, this should have been like my blueprint, right? My blueprint to the trade. If this trade did not bounce off the bottom of this trend like this, did not bounce here and move higher inside of that triangle, well, it's no longer bullish, right? It's no longer bullish, Patrick. So why would you hold on to this trade? So pretty much what I ended up doing was I ended up jumping in here at the 3,240 area, basically like this. I'll show you my entry kind of on this line here. Basically jumping in this area. You call it a yellow line. This is where I ended up buying at. The green line there. Hey, if you guys enjoy these videos, do me one big favor. Hit that like button and the subscribe button down below. Thinking that we're going to get, we're getting a triple bottom in this area here. That 3,240, 3,220 in this area. This looked like a good dip buy opportunity at the time. But again, what rule do we break? We broke the rule that, hey, this was looking bullish. We couldn't push above this 380 area multiple times. Here, getting stuck at that 380 area multiple times. So I should have known right off the bat, once this broke to the downside, that there's something was, the trend was changing. It was looking bearish. But instead, I was emotional. I wouldn't say I was emotionally attached, but I was emotionally attached to the idea that Ethereum, that Bitcoin, that all the cryptocurrency was going to the moon. And well, the next stop was Uranus. The planet, not Uranus, but the planet itself. And the problem for me is I had that bias, right? I had the bias that I believe that the stock, that Ethereum was going to go higher. I am in a trade right now. I've got 10 Ethereum contracts there at this low, trying to get back some of that profit, see if we can't push up here to the 160 area again. But in general, the kind of the moral of the story, guys, is if you identify a pattern, you identify what is kind of going on price action wise, and then that price action changes, it breaks outside of that pattern, it breaks outside of that upward trend, well, it's not rocket science. It should pretty much be a big red flag like, hey, this is not good. This is no longer bullish. Patrick, you should run away. Run away. Run away. So instead of running away, I ended up just holding here, and I ended up going to bed. That's the best part. I ended up going to bed, and this dropped all the way down here. I ended up getting stopped out and making those huge losses and getting crushed. I'm up $200 actually, like right now. I don't know if you guys can even see that, but I'm up like $200 right now. Down here below, you can see my entries. They're at the 3,119 area. I got 10 Ethereum down there, and we'll see if we can't get a little pushback up here, the 160s. Try to get back some of that loss there. But in general, I really just wanted to make this video, number one, to show you know, the losses to show the truth here behind the trading. Big losses sometimes happen. And really, the most frustrating part about this whole entire trade for me personally is the fact that, you know, I really just screwed up in my own sense. You know, I screwed the pooch here. If you look at the smaller time frames, looking at the 15-minute time frame, you can see kind of that 240, 220 area looking at like a triple bottom there. So really, you know, it wasn't that I had a terrible trade plan there. Like, this wasn't terrible. You know, if we get rid of this here, like, it's not terrible kind of looking at that channel there, but I should have had a much stricter stop loss. Like, my stop loss should have been right below this area. So, like, for sure, my stop should have been 3,200 at the max. Like, maximum my stop loss should have been here at the 3,200 area, seeing that we had a little bit of support there at the 3,200, but in general, there's no way in hell I should have rode this all the way down to 3,140 area and then got stopped out. You can see it did pop back up there, but in general, I would equate this to two very simple thesis, or two very simple ideas. Is number one, I was trading with the emotion that I believe that Ethereum was going to go higher and higher forever, and then also trading with, I think, some FOMO, because every time I end up getting out of a trade or this is what happens. You get these big old boner candles to the moon, and I keep missing out on all the boner candles, and I've got some serious FOMO for some big old green candles. That's all I want. I just want some big old green candles. Well, instead of getting a big old green candle, I got a big old red candle back down to the downside there. So we're up $185 right now. We'll see if this will push up to the 160 area. It can lock in some, get some of that profit back here, but still not really how I wanted to start my day off here on Sunday, waking up and seeing that I was down that much. It's really my fault. You know, like I said, it's my fault, number one, of not getting out of this trade when I should have. There we go. We're up $252 now. We'll see if we can push up to the 160s. Trying to push 150 here. But like I said, my big issue was the emotional attachment to this, thinking that we're going to bounce triple bottom, push back up here. Like, okay, it's going to push a 280 again, and then we're going to 3,300, right? I had that emotional bias attached to being bullish on this, and that pretty much, like I said, that should have been the fine line in the sand. That $3,200 area should have been like, Patrick, I don't care what happens. If this breaks below that $3,200 area, we got to get out, right? That should have been a huge red flag to get out at that point, to take profit, you know, or to take my loss at that point and walk away. But instead, like I said, we were greedy and we wanted a big move. We wanted that to bounce back. So, you know, that's the issue. We can't let a bullish pattern turn bearish and then load up and then hold through the drop. We just can't do that. You can't do that as a trader, and I sure as hell should not be doing that. So that's really what it comes down to here. It's just about having a plan, having, you know, your stop, having that mental idea that, like, hey, I've got to get out of this trade. If this breaks to the downside, if this can't hold that trend, well, then there's no reason for me to stay in that trade. Just hoping and praying is not a reason to trade. That is not a strategy. Hoping and praying is not a strategy. Let me tell you that right now. It is not a strategy, my friends. So we'll see what happens if we can push up here to the 160 area. I'm up $240 right now. We'll see if we can push up a little bit higher. We got a high so far on this candle at 2146. So we'll see if we can push up 260s on this move. But just want to give you guys a little breakdown of this bad or this trade. Just, I wouldn't say, like, I think at the end of the day, there's obviously bad trades, but I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, that most bad trades start out as, you know, as okay, as maybe as good trades. They start out as good trades, and then we don't manage them, and then we allow them to become really bad trades. And I think that's pretty much, you know, the moral of the story. Is this started out as like, okay, we're going to buy the dip. We're going to get a good trade going here. The trade turned against us. And instead of identifying that we were breaking to the downside, identifying that this was looking very bearish, I just held on to it and I walked away and said, oh, I'll come back tomorrow and it'll be at a higher price. So, you know, you live and you learn. And that's really what it comes down to here. We're living and we're learning. If you guys haven't already, do me one big favor, hit that like button, subscribe button, all the buttons down below. I'll talk to you guys later on.